Hi, hello, good evening. How are you? Hi. I'm Zoom fancy today. I had to put on a little accoutrement because, I had to jazz it up for one of my Zoom meetings this afternoon. So y'all get a little jewelry, a little shininess going on here, there, and everywhere. You're welcome. Why not, right? Hi, my name is Maya of beapossibility.com, beapossibility.com. And this is time that we spend together on Thursdays called Lunch on LinkedIn. And this is food for thought served up fresh every Thursday. So, again, I'm Maya. Welcome. If it's your first time, hi. Thanks for joining me. If it's not, welcome back. Hopefully, you found some value before, so you decided to tune in this time too. And I appreciate you. I really do. Do it for the people. Do it for the people. So, today's topic is true diversity and how diversity shows up in the world around us. And I want to shout out Miss Stacy Givens of Givens Consulting Group for the inspiration for this talk. She posted a very thought provoking um, post on Facebook and on LinkedIn. She brought it over to the LinkedIn after it was over on the Facebook. And she was talking about how she was going for an exam for a mammogram. And I'm not talking, I'm not being too revealing. She put all this in her post. So I'm just paraphrasing for you all. Um, but how there's been a lack of innovation regarding mammograms and how that whole uncomfortable process is done for years, and no one has ever thought about, hey, how can we improve this? Or if they've thought about it, no one has come out with anything that has been implemented on a wide scale. And the same with an MRI machine. Thinking about, okay, what if people of a certain size, they're not as comfortable, they don't fit as well. This may not be the best option for them when we're talking about the diagnosis and medical treatment as it relates to the uses for an MRI machine or even for a mammogram machine. And so that goes back into diversity. We There's this notion that diversity, especially now in the climate, and especially in the US, although I know this is happening around the world, is solely about people of different ethnic backgrounds or races being represented in certain areas. And that is where diversity is left most of the time, as opposed to it being thought of as an idea, a concept, or a strategy that is being left behind simply because we refuse to integrate people who are different from the core group who are running the status quo into organizations, which could then change the game and change the world for all of us. And people are, I think, missing the point of diversity and disqualifying it as simply tokenism, or making sure that, that everybody's visually represented without understanding that there is a greater benefit to the world at large if we truly integrate diversity into everything that we do. Personally, and this may seem like an off the wall example, for me, I know that growing up in Los Angeles, excuse me, something in my eye. Growing up in Los Angeles, there were very limited as growing up in my neighborhood, South Central LA, proud of it. Um, there weren't necessarily a diverse option of foods that I was aware of, simply because it was not the practice of my family to diversify and go outside of our norms of home cooking being Southern based type meals, maybe some Chinese food every now and then, which was usually commercialized, whatever. Um, Burger stand, American food, occasional tacos. That's part of the culture in LA. If you've never been to LA, best place to get tacos. That was it. So when I go to college and start to see people, eating sushi, which is, I didn't know anything about sushi, didn't know how to use chopsticks, was not my thing because I had not been exposed to it and had not diversified my interest or my palate at that point to understand it. Foods from other parts of the world, like Lebanese food, Mediterranean food, which is amazing, which is one of my favorites now. But had I not diversified and reached out, I would not have understood, nor would I have tried it, nor would I have ventured out to then, okay, that was good. Let me try something else, or let me read more about it. Let me learn more about it. Diversifying myself, learning more about cultures that tie back into foods. I've then expanded my knowledge base and also my understanding and my ability to relate to more people through expansion. Though it was a food example, take it and throw it into other aspects of your life. How can you better yourself? How can you expand your reach? How can you then grow beyond where you currently are? By simply opening your mind to another idea, another approach, or inviting someone in who has a different approach and who may or may not look like you, who may or may not have similar skin tone to you, who may or may not have grown up in a similar environment as you. Diversity affects us all in ways that we can't even count. And instead of just keeping it in the little box of, okay, let's make it a Benetton ad and just make sure there's a face for every shade, go beyond that. Go beyond that. Yes, make sure there's a face for every shade, but make sure that you are also listening to what that face brings to the conversation, because there's a brain attached to that face, hopefully. And there are ideas, there are concepts, there are approaches that you may not have considered, that your monochromatic group has not considered. Bring that in, open it up, apply diversity to all aspects of your life. That's what I got for y'all today. So hopefully that helps somebody. Hopefully you learned a little something, or you found something that you can share with others. If you'd like to keep in touch, you can always reach out, beapossibility.com, beapossibility.com. That is the website. You can always drop me an email at Maya, MAIYA, at beapossibility.com, and I'm happy to keep in touch with you. I'm here every Thursday on LinkedIn. I'm also available on the Necessary Conversations podcast, powered by Be a Possibility, which has fresh episodes every Wednesday. And that is available wherever you get your podcasts for the most part. Larger outlets already carry it. So Apple, Google, Spotify, Breaker, Anchor, everywhere. And if you're on my page or anywhere near my page, you can find an ad and a link for it. So for those of you who've already listened, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Share it with a friend. Tell somebody you know. They might learn something. This week we have an interview with Councilman Christopher Awe from East Orange, New Jersey, who's talking politics, talking the Postal Service, what we can do to help save it, and the importance of the census. Census deadline is September 30th. Please complete your census if you haven't already. And also, there's a Your Vote, Your Voice event coming up next week, August 26th. I will also put that information up on my page so that you can participate. It is a collective from Black employee resource groups in the Dallas-Fort Worth area who are sponsoring that event so that we can make sure that there's accurate information, nonpartisan information being put out in regard to the importance of voting and how to make sure that your vote counts and your voice is heard. So that's all I got for you. So much happening. So much. But I appreciate you, and I hope you have a good night, and I'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.